Hello students, today we are going to take the new lesson which is in page 28 and 29 in workbook 4a. Vocabulary, accidents and injuries. Let's start with exercise number 1. Fill in the sentences with the words in the list. Flood, train derailment, car crash, boat sinking, explosion, plane crash, house fire. 1. All their possessions got burned in a house fire. Most of the village was underwater when heavy rain caused a flood. The police evacuated the building before the explosion. After the train derailment, a number of carriages were off the tracks. There was a terrible plane crash over the mountains. An overturned lorry caused a huge car crash on the motorway. The boat sinking at the sea cost a lot of lives. 1b. Which of these accidents can you see in the pictures? We can see train derailment and explosion. Let's go on with exercise number 2. Fill in bump, bruise, collarbone, cut, scratch. I got a nasty scratch when I brushed against the thorn bush. Joe fell off the wall and broke his collarbone. He walked in a tree and got a large bump. Jane had a big black and a blue bruise on her leg. The man had a wide open cut on his head. Let's start with exercise number 3. Match the words to form collocations. The first one is passenger's ferry. The second one, sole survivor. Third one, plane wreckage. The fourth one, rescue crew. The fifth one, life threatening, and the sixth one is search plane. Okay, let's start with now use the collocation to complete the sentences. Passenger's ferry, sole survivor, plane wreckage, rescue crew, life-threatening and search plane. You could see smoke for miles at the plane wreckage lay burning in a field. The rescue crew managed to save the lives of most of the crash victims. Many people were lost at the sea when the passenger ferry sank. The search plane circled the sky above the crash site. The flu is usually not a life-threatening illness. A young child was the sole survivor of the plane crash. Let's go on with exercise number 4. Complete the sentences with the verbs in the correct form. Escape, lay, plunge, catch, crash, darken, survive and flash. The helicopter caught fire. The pilot had to crash land. The crash survivors flashed their torch at a boat they saw in the distance. The sky darkened and the wind started howling. Some insects can lay eggs inside people's wounds. The plane's engine stopped and the plane plunged to the ground. All the plane passengers were lucky to escape major injuries. My uncle crashed his car yesterday and broke his leg. I don't know if I could survive alone in the desert. Survival. Choose the correct word in exercise number 5. The victim was lucky that his injuries were not serious. The survivors did everything they could to stay alive. The helicopter crashed after being hit by lightning. The girl spent 2 weeks alone in the Amazon. You should always protect yourself against mosquitoes' bites. The patient couldn't remember anything about his accident. A 16-year-old girl was the sole survivor of the plane crash. Let's start again with exercise number 6. Canopy, downstream, doped, infested, jungle, lighting, odds, pelted, screaming, venomous. Okay, the jungle is one of the most inhospitable places for man. Lightning flashed across the sky in front of us. If you are lost in a forest, find a river and head downstream. You could die if you get bitten by a venomous snake. Without a doubt, those firefighters are heroes. Sometimes, against all odds, people manage to survive the most difficult situations. Monkeys usually spend their time hid up in the forest canopy. The rain pelted against the car windows as we drove through the valley. The waters were dangerous because they were infested with alligators. She started screaming at the sight of the crocodile. Exercise number 7. Imagine you got lost in the jungle. Use these words to write a few sentences about your experience. We have a venomous, darkened, infested, screaming, alive, mosquito, and bites. Okay, let's see. I was scared in case I got bitten by a venomous snake. I became even more scared as the sky began to darken. The river was infested with crocodiles. I felt like screaming all the time, but I didn't. After 2 days, I had a lot of mosquitoes bites. However, I was lucky to be alive. And this was the unit 4A. Subscribe and like for more units. Thank you for your attention.